hi there everyone, and welcome to my kitchen. Today's recipe is for blueberry pie bars, and these are going to have a shortbread crust on them. So instead of a pastry crust, we're going to have a shortbread dough crust. And I'm going to be using our Thrive Life gluten-free flour. You could use regular all-purpose if you like. You could definitely make these as a cherry pie, blackberry, raspberry pie. It's up to you. I'm making blueberry, but you make your favorite. They would be delicious. Any of those versions would be really good. We're going to start with a pint-sized jar, and we're going to do the shortbread crust ingredients in that jar. You're going to need 2 jars for this recipe. So in is going to go 1.5 cups of flour, and this will completely fill up this jar. So I went ahead and did the kosher salt and the vanilla powder in the middle. And make sure you use kosher salt, 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt and not table salt. If you're using table salt, you should probably decrease that amount. And then you're going to fill the rest of your jar full of powdered sugar. And it does fit. You might have to kind of press it down, but it will fit in there because pint-sized jars are exactly 2 cups. And so that is your shortbread crust. And into the second pint-sized jar, we're going to do the fruit pie filling. So I've got 1 cup of our blueberries. Our blueberries are delicious. If you are a fan of blueberries, you will like those. And only 1/4 cup of regular sugar, and then just a pinch of salt, just like a tiny bit of salt. Salt makes everything better. And then you're going to need a couple of little baggies. And the first baggie, I've labeled it because both of them have kind of white powdery things in them, so I labeled it. That's 3 tablespoons of cornstarch. That is going to be used to thicken up the pie filling. And the second baggie is going to be our lemon sugar topping. So you're going to need a 1/2 cup of powdered sugar, and then to that you're going to add the Thrive Life lemon powder. If you don't have that, you could use a couple of packets of True Lemon. I know they have that at Walmart. If you want to do the glaze, I should say. You don't have to do the glaze. This is delicious without the lemon glaze as well. But if you want to do the lemon glaze, that is one way you could do it. Or if you don't have either of those, you could just add fresh lemon juice to that powdered sugar to make the glaze. So this is what you're going to store on your pantry shelf. And I don't think it should store for a very long time, maybe up to a year. Okay, and when you're ready to make it, you're just going to go ahead and empty your shortbread crust ingredients into a bowl. Go ahead and give them a stir because you do need to incorporate the flour with the sugar and the salt and the vanilla. And in this recipe, you do need actual real butter that you have softened. So this takes 10 tablespoons of softened butter. I use salted Kerrygold, but that is up to you. I like a little bit of extra salt, but that's up to you. I think the shortbread crust is tender and delicious with real butter. I tried the recipe using our Thrive Life butter powder, and it did not come out very good. It was kind of tough and chewy. And shortbread crust should not be tough or chewy. Now you know it's good and incorporated when you can kind of squeeze together the crust and it stays together. It comes together into a ball. That's when you know it is ready. So go ahead and gather up all of the crumbs and put them into a little ball, and you can set that aside. I decided to bake the blueberry pie bars in an 8x8 cake pan, and I just traced the bottom of the pan with a pencil and cut that out for the parchment paper. You do need to reserve 1/4 of your shortbread dough. That's going to be the topping. And the rest of the dough, you kind of just press down into the pan. And this might take you a minute, but it will press out just fine. You'll have plenty of dough to cover the bottom of your 8x8 pan. And then you're going to need to put that into the refrigerator for at least 15 minutes to chill, and do the same with your leftover dough ball. I wrapped mine in plastic wrap. In the meantime, we can go ahead and make the fruit pie filling. So get a medium-sized pot, and then go ahead and put your 2 baggies to the side. We'll deal with those in a little bit. And you will empty your blueberries and sugar mixture into your pot, and you're going to add 1 cup of water. Go ahead and turn on your heat. Give those a stir. You're going to want to bring that to a boil. We're basically making pie filling. While that heats, get a small bowl, and you can empty those 3 tablespoons of cornstarch into your bowl. Then you're going to need to add a couple tablespoons of water. I would say 2 to 3 tablespoons of water is enough. Just go ahead and give that a stir. As long as it's room temperature water, it will not lump on you. Don't use hot water with cornstarch. That's when you get lumps. All right, and then get another bowl, and you can put your powdered lemon sugar into that bowl. Go ahead and give it a stir if you did put the lemon powder in there. Okay, and then in the meantime, our blueberries have come to a boil. So just stir that. Let that simmer for about 5 minutes, and then your fruit will be nice and soft, and you can smush it up. I used a potato masher. And then you can go ahead and add your cornstarch slurry at this time. And this will thicken up pretty quickly. So be sure to go ahead and whisk it. As that cornstarch hits the heat, it will start to thicken up almost immediately. So you're going to notice that it will take on more of the consistency of almost a jam. And yeah, this is what will happen after just a couple of minutes on the heat. You can turn off the stove, and then you should have basically, it's pie filling. It should be kind of like the consistency of jam or pie filling. And then you have to let it cool completely. And so this is what I did. It was time for Friday Night Lights. My daughter is a senior this year, and it was her homecoming game. So we went and watched the football game. It was so much fun, y'all. Texas Friday Night Lights is exciting. Our little running back is fantastic this year. Our quarterback has a great arm, and I was really impressed with our kicker. He is fantastic. We have a lefty this year. The halftime is so much fun at a homecoming game. Just look at the band and the dancers. They're amazing. I enjoyed that so much. This is actually the next day. I started again the next morning. My pie filling, I had to actually microwave that for just a few seconds because it was really solidified. So yeah, just get it on your pie crust. Just spread it around. It's plenty to cover the whole thing. And then, yeah, the extra bit of crust you are going to use as a crumble topping. So just break that up into pieces or cut it up and kind of spread it on the top there. You want to have preheated your oven to 350. And you will bake the blueberry pie bars for about 25 minutes. And while it bakes, you can get your lemon glaze ready. That's 1 tablespoon of water I added because I've got the lemon powder in there. If you don't have lemon powder, you can make this lemon glaze with 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. Give it a taste. I added a tiny bit of salt to this because salt makes everything better. This is after 25 minutes of baking. You'll get a golden brown topping. And your crust underneath should also be golden brown at that point. You need to allow this to cool before you slice it. So I thought I'd show you Teddy Bear. He's so cute and so much fun. Sweet boy. I sliced mine up into 9 pieces. Those are 9 good size pie bars. You could definitely do 16 if you prefer. Now this is the thing. I always mess up the first slice. It's like my sacrificial lamb. It's so sad. The crust got left in there and everything. Okay, the second one, so much better. You're able to kind of get underneath there with your spatula and lift it up. Yay! This is what I was looking for. So you can go ahead and add the glaze if you like at this time, or you could eat it without the glaze, of course. My husband says these are like 2 completely different desserts. One is just a traditional blueberry pie almost, and the other with the lemon, it's just kicks it up a notch. I can't tell you which one is our favorite because I don't know. They were both incredible. I wanted to show you what they cut up like. It is a delicious piece of pie there. You can cut that, or you could just pick it up and eat it like a bar. See, the bottom of the crust is nice and golden as well. It is kind of crumbly. I don't know if that's because it's gluten-free. I'm not sure. But it was very tender and super delicious. My husband says that this is the best thing ever. He loved these pie bars, and I think you will too. Okay, guys, thank y'all so much for watching. I hope you try this recipe. Let me know what you think in the comments. I appreciate you. And until next time, y'all take care and keep thriving.